Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Pierre, this is Simple Brew. If you're interested in extract brewing, I've got a beer for you. Well, it's something I'm experimenting with. I've got a Cooper's Australian Pale Ale, and I'm going to whack in some caramalt and a heap of hops. So if you're interested in what it comes out like, stick around. What we have here is Cooper's Australian Pale Ale. We're going to actually add that in, as well as a Master Malt Caramalt, which is from Morgans. I'm going to ferment it with yeast. Oh my God, what am I? This is something I've had sitting around for a little bit. It's a Belgian style ale yeast. I'm just going to use that because basically I've got that sitting around doing nothing, so I'm going to make use of it. And another thing I'm going to do is experiment a little bit with hops. I've got this hops here, which unfortunately it's been in my freezer. I don't know what it is. It has a citrusy, not so dominant citrusy smell to it, but it's just mild, you know, it's not overly dominant like some of the other hops there, but I think I'm going to throw that in at fermentation straight away. I'm thinking about using a hop sock just to make sure, which I think I'll do. No, I won't. I won't use a hop sock. I'll do it bare and actually see if it comes out a bit cloudier. So we'll see how that works. This is just experimenting with some of the stuff we're doing. I'm also going to add another 100 grams at about day 4, day 5, closer to end of fermentation or closer to the fermentation settling down. 100 grams of Mosaic. Now I used Mosaic in a Kegland beer and it came out awesome as a dry hop of 100 grams. So I'm going to try it again with this one and see how that comes out. See if I can cover up a bit of the old extract flavourings as well as make it work. So I'm not using the yeast that's provided by Cooper. I'm only using the yeast that I have, which is a Belgian style ale yeast. So hopefully that comes out. I need to first fill up my kettle. This is about 1.7 litres. I need to throw 1.7 litres at least, or 2 litres if I can, of pure hot water, 100 degrees Celsius. I have sanitised this stainless steel tin, but it quite didn't really need it. It just needed to be clean because this is pure hot water. It's going to kill bacteria in it. So I'll do that and I'll come back. For first-time viewers, guys, sanitary. Make sure that everything's spotlessly cleaned and use sanitizer in everything you brew. Make sure you clean it. Acid-based sanitizer is probably the better one. No rinse sanitizer. I have a spray bottle full of sanitizer. Actually, it's pretty empty now, but this will keep me sanitized for the day. This is just Stelasan, and it's mixed a ratio of 1.5 to 1,000, so it's not bad. So 1.5 mil to a litre of water, so that works really well, and it doesn't harm you in any way. Yeast actually thrives on it. Well, while the kettle's boiling, I'm going to open these cans up. I think some of you have seen my past videos. I've had an electric can opener, and it used to drive me crazy. It just went so slow. It worked well, but it went so slow. But I'm not doing that now. So the first one I'm going to open up is our Cooper. And like I said, Cooper's always has their own yeast. And yeah, usually I do use their yeast, which, damn it, which is fine. But today I'm not. So I'll rip the yeast off. Right, to start with, we need to add hot water into a bucket and place our extract in it to warm it up. Basically, this is really thick, and if it's cold, it'll flow very slowly. Now, a lot of people don't mind, it doesn't matter, but if you thin it out, it makes it a lot easier to pour. So I'll put them in a container with their jackets on and everything else. Now, Coopers do have an instruction manual on it. If you want to check it out, you just peel it off the can and you'll be fine. But I've done so many of these that I really don't feel I need to worry about that as much. So I don't know if you can see that on this, probably a little bit, but actually I might take that down. So what I'll do is I'll just put these aside. They'll sit in the container. I'll pour the hot water on it. I'll put something on top just to stop it from cooling down and leave it there for about 15 minutes to thin out the actual extract. Kettle is boiled, just pour it straight on. Look, straight in there, hot 100 degrees Celsius water. And these little guys here, they'll soak that heat up and proceed to get soft. I'll put that away. So I've got to get another 2 litres of hot water, pop it into my stainless steel sanitised container, pot, and then mix our extracts together and get it ready to pour into the fermenter, which I'm using today a Chubby, which I really like. They're very simple. I did get some people saying to me that they're very hard to clean. They're very hard to clean if you let them dry. So if you do a ferment and the edges Krausen full, they get to a point where the Krausen will stick to the sides and become a bit of a problem. If you let the pressure out, open the container up and let it air out, it'll dry inside and cause the Krausen line to thicken or harden, and it's really hard to clean. The best advice would be is to, once you've extracted your fermented product, keep the pressure in there, leave it in there so that there's no airflow, so it won't dry on the edges. When you do go to clean it, it's so much easier. So whilst we're waiting for this to boil, I want to just show you an apple cider that I made for a mate. He was going to do his own. I gave him the fermenter to do it, and he decided not to. And I said, look, I'll do it for you. So I've made him an apple cider. I've given him the bottles. Hopefully he'll like them. It's a beauty. It's a Mangrove Jack's apple cider recipe #1. So it's probably their first normal apple cider recipe, and it smells exceptional. I poured it out of my bottle. I've already taken half of a cup. And that's, it's been sitting in a bottle in the fridge for a couple of weeks, just aging a little bit. And the result is just nice. The smell, it's just apple cidery. There's no after smells or poor quality or yeasty smells in it at all. It's mildly carbonated, as you can probably see there. And it's just like an apple cider, as you want to be. Now, I put in half of what they said in sweetener. So the result is exceptional. It has a really tasty apple cider, and it's commercial friendly. It's pretty much the taste of something you buy off the shelf and at Dan Murphy's or somewhere like that. Really nice apple cider. To me, it's a little bit sweet for my liking. Could be a little bit drier. Probably use a quarter of a sweetener next time, and probably make it perfect. And we'll go from there. But I'll tell you what, I'll leave a link here for you. This is a cheap, easy recipe to make great apple cider with. You should have a go. If you guys are interested in apple ciders, you can see them in the bottles for 6 months or so or more if you want to, if you've done it right. And they shouldn't go off or go bad, and they will taste like a proper commercial bought apple cider. Cheers, guys. So now we're at the stage of mixing our extracts. Now normally I'll put, if I'm using dry extract, I'll put the dry extract in first, then pour the hot water on top. Much easier to stop all coagulation and all this other stuff. But today I'm using liquid extracts, so I'm going to just pour the hot water in. Like I said, a couple of litres of 100 degrees Celsius hot water into a sanitised pot, which probably didn't need to be sanitised, but it's doing that. And the reason why I don't mix it straight into the fermenter, glass is fogging, sorry, is the fermenter will melt. It can't handle the 100 degrees Celsius, so I do it this way. I will now open my first can, which should be nicely warmed up now. This should take a few seconds, not too long. You can hear it hiss. You probably can't see from that camera, but this is so much better than that electric can opener I was using a while back. So much better. So there's the lid. As you can see, it's a malty looking extract. I have had this in hot water already, so the lid's all sanitised. So I'm just quickly rinse the lid in my hot water. And then I need to get a spoon, and now I'm going to be using everything on a plastic surface. This is steel at the moment, but it won't be steel in the other one, so I'm going to use a plastic spoon. And I have sanitizer, actually refilled this now, so it's got full sanitizer in it again. So I'll quickly throw a ton of sanitizer on. Oh my god, I can smell that malt extract already. It smells awesome. And proceed to pour this in. See how liquidy it is already? That's just been in there for less than 15 minutes. So all I do is I'll scrape this out. Now this is just to add body, flavour and sugar to the ferment. I want to get it probably to around about 1.5, maybe, that's in percent alcohol it is, so 1.04 or something like that, 1.045 or something should be an ample amount of sugar, fermentable sugars. Now the other thing I've got to do is fill up my fermenter. Now the fermenter I will fill with these cans to rinse them out as I go. That way, oh, it smells good. That way I rinse out my cans and I don't waste any extract. Look how dark that is. I didn't think it would come out that dark, to be honest. It smells really good. Alright, so I'm going to actually leave that, let that settle a little bit, and I'll open my next can up. My Coopers, which is already a pre-made type of or style, which is an IPA. It'll prove to have a little bit of floral flavours and a couple other things in it as well, but it's going to be covered up a fair bit from me putting these hops in, so it may change a few things anyway. And there's this one, it's a bit lighter in colour. I'll rinse that in here as well. Try and keep things clean, and we'll pour that in as well on top of this. The smell of this is completely different to the smell of the actual thing, of course, the caramel or caramalt. That's on purpose. Right now, this is going to be so sweet and molassesy and shit. Absolutely beautiful. And see, I've been taking a fair bit out, but that will be rinsed when I start filling up my fermenter. Now, I guess the calculations will be, I've got hot malt here. I need to rinse this out, rinse the cans out, and fill up my fermenter to 23 litres. So I need to add around about, 14 litres, let's say, to the fermenter. The amount of fluids I've got in this container now should be 1.7 twice, so that's 3.2, plus 2 litres of water, that's 5.2 litres that I've got in here already. It doesn't really look like 5.2 litres, to be honest. That can be deceiving. This is a 30 litre pot, so. Alright, so I'm going to now leave that sit. I'll put the lid on so we don't get any unwanted nasties in there. Throw that on and just let it sit for a bit. Now I need to fill my fermenter. I might just move this out the way so I've got more room to work. Didn't want that to fall on the ground. Now my fermenter has sanitizer in it. I've rinsed it and poured the sanitizer out. I'll just get rid of what's left over in there. And we'll give this all a good spray down to make sure all of this is sanitized as well. Down through the pipes and everything else. I'm just quickly putting it down through the pipe as well. It has had sanitizer in it, but I'm always overly cautious about everything. So that's been fully sanitized now. Right, so what I'll do now is I'll start filling this up using these cans. I'll fill it up. I've got a little gauge on my water filling device, the fillometer, and I'll calculate how much I'm using just by pressing the button. So this will tell me how much water I'm putting in. I want to put about 13 to 14 litres, and that's as much as I want to put in. I have to remove that so I can pour water in. You know what? I probably should get a funnel. So that's nice and cleaned out. So I now have to do the last can, this one here, the extract malt, or the malt. So I'm at 7 litres, so I want to get to 14 at least. I'm just extracting all the sugars that I need to get this done. I'm hoping I'll get that enough just before I run out of water. So this is pretty much as clean as I'm going to get this. I'll put that away. Basically, I need the rest of the room for what I'm about to put in, what the rest of the products I'm going to put in. So I now need to grab a funnel, which I'll do now. Right, I've got this ready. I have, like I said, about 5 litres or 5 or so litres of extract to pour in. Now I've got to rinse that pot out as well. I've got about 13.25 litres of water already in there. So once I put this 5 litres, that'll make it about 19 litres, 18.25 or so. So we need to get to 23. So I'll pour that in. You can see, yep. Look at the colour of that, and the smell is so nice, you know. Like I said, the reason I do this is because our fermenter can't handle the heat. So what did I say? 3.2 litres plus 13.25. In the fermenter now we had 13.25 litres of water. In the extract we had 3.2 litres of water, around about, at a guess. And to put them together, it's about, what, 16.45 litres. So now I need to add another 4 or 5 litres of water to the fermenter to bring it to 23 litres. I actually need to add 7 litres or 6 litres to it. So I'm going to do that to bring it to its maximum depth. So about 6 litres I'll put in, and that will bring it to about 20.45 litres. According to my calculations, I am at 23 litres. Hopefully I'm right. Who cares? It's going to be okay anyway. This is extract brewing, so you can muck around. If you want more flavours than beer, if you want a higher flavour beer, more strong flavour, do it 20 litres. It's what you put in a keg anyway, 19.5 at least. Now, there's 2 more things I need to add to this. I need to add my hops for early fermentation. I'm going to try it as an experiment. These hops have been around for a while, so I'm just going to hop it all in. Don't know how much is in there. It's a fair bit. No, don't know what it is, but that's going in. Sorry guys, if it turns out great, I wish I had know what this hop is, but I really can't tell you. Has a sort of a bittery taste to it, so that might bring out a bit of bitterness to it, hopefully. The other one, the Mosaic, will go in at a later date when this ferments down a fair bit. So I'll mix that in a bit. Now this is already going to be at temperature. Basically I put hot water in, 100 degrees Celsius, and then topped up with another 20 litres. So we're looking at something that's been diluted back down to, it's probably about 19 degrees, 18 degrees Celsius. I can't measure it. I've lost my tilt. I don't know what happened to it. It's like someone said, oh, that's a good device, I'm taking that. Haven't been able to find it. It's been gone for quite some time now. So it's the only device other than my Plato, which I will use again in the future. I'll use that for winemaking, which is really a benefit because you can actually watch it for a long time. It seems to work really well. So now I'm going to add my dry yeast. I'll quickly throw a bit of sanitizer on the dry yeast. Here it is. I will peel it. I haven't got scissors, so I'll just peel it off. Ooh, you can feel the air getting in straight. Oh, very granular. If you guys can see that, very granular. Look at that. Nice looking yeast. It's got like a pooey smell. It smells alright. We'll put that in. Done. That's about 11 grams there. Yep, 11 grams. And now all I need to do is put the pressure lid on and stir it. Now, of course, the oxygen that was in there was created from pouring water in it all day, all that time. Now, I'll quickly stir that in a little. Now, great little fermenters these. I have a handle for this I'm going to put on later. I will shake this up. As you guys can see, just to aerate it, get the oxygen through the whole mix. And now we're going to wait for about 4 or 5 days and see how it starts to look. I am going to grab a sample though. I do definitely need a gravity reading. This is just made, I can put a little hose on it. I do it long, like this, and it's going to go from my out pipe. It basically is a sample grabber. It doesn't click on or load on. It's just a quickie. Got a little dimple inside which pushes the pin in and seals around the O-ring and lets the beer come out, or at the moment, the extract, or the sample. Just hurt myself. Alright, I'm going to grab a sample. We need to know what the gravity or starting gravity is, so is there going to be enough pressure? Definitely not. Idiot, there's not going to be pressure in that. So I don't want to open it up again, so I'm going to put some gas in. Just a little bit. That's all we need, just enough to get some pressure in. I'll try that one again, eh? I think the good thing about doing this as well is it quickly fills up the tube within the ooh, that smells good already. Within the fermenter, so that the tube has already flushed out with some of the extract as well, or some of the beer. So we're looking at 1040, which is about what I thought we'd get to, about 1040. 1040, what would that give us? If it ferments down, we should get about 4.7% or 4.8% alcohol in that one, which is pretty nice. It would just be a nice hoppy, low alcohol, average alcohol beer. So that sounds good. I'm going to taste it. You know how it is. Got to taste it, see if it's going to be any good. Yeah. You can smell the hops in it. It's very nice. It's not overbearingly powerful or strong. Very tasty. I think that's going to be a nice beer. Looking forward to it. Alright, I'm going to let that ferment for 3 or 4 days, maybe 5, depending on how it ferments. Come back and add my 100 grams of Mosaic. It's going to be very citrusy. Cheers guys, we'll see you then. It's been a couple of weeks, it's been a few weeks. I've had the keg sitting in the warmth of my house for about, it would be two and a half, maybe 3 weeks, just sitting there. I must say, when I took it out of the actual keg, out of the fermenter, I wasn't overly impressed. It was fairly bitter, to tell you the truth. It wasn't too bad though. And I thought aging would make it a little bit better. I haven't carbonated it yet. I've just popped it in my keg, but I thought I've got to get this video done. Yeah, it's floral. Wow, it actually isn't too bad. I was worried it was going to be a bit off because it's been sitting out in my house for 2.5 weeks. But smelling it, smells just normal. Nothing wrong with it at all. It's a really good tasting beer. Good smelling beer, sorry to say. Now, it isn't carbonated yet. I have to do a bit more work on carbonation, but I still need to do this tasting. Now, look at it. It is a nice brown colour. Now, of course, this is Cooper's. Is that Cooper's experiment that I did? It smells good. I'm really, really happy with the smell. It's really nice. I'm getting a caramel, citrusy, hoppy smell. Not overbearing though. Very pleasant. It's a sweet smell that I'm smelling. I've got a bit of what do you call that? A bit of, I don't know. I can't really pinpoint that. It's more like artichoke, maybe. It's not bad. It smells good. It's a good smelling beer. Let's see what it tastes like, shall we? It's kept some of its carbonation. It's got that bitter taste to it still, which I don't mind. It's actually quite settled now. Nowhere near like it was 2.5 weeks ago. So it's settled right down. This will be great once it's cold. It's tasty. I'm telling you that putting those hops in really made the difference. It's good. It's about this was 4.1%. It's got a brown ale flavour. Mixing those two different extracts together probably wasn't the greatest idea. I probably should have used Cooper's malt instead of Morgan's malts. But it's still, nonetheless, it's still a tasty beer. It's very easy to drink. Not ugly. It'll settle into, once it cools down and carbonates, it'll settle. It's very dry. It's not a sweet beer at all. It's, I have to say, it's tasty. It tastes a bit like a rye. It's like it's got a bit of a rye in there. Mate, it's a good beer, guys. Really, give it a try. Have an experiment. Try with hops. Try doing something different that you're not used to doing, and see how you go with it. That is not bad at all, and I'm really happy with it. I'm happy to share that. Mate's coming over on Thursday, so it should be carbonated enough and cold enough to actually enjoy. So it's a good beer. Cheers, guys. I'm glad I did it now. Extracts are still a go. I'm still going to keep doing them. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for being part of this channel. Thank you to my Patreons. You guys are awesome for following this channel and sticking with it. And if you guys want to support the channel, go for it. I've got a link down below for Patreon. And give me a click, thumbs up, and say hello. I really like talking to you guys, and you guys give me all the information and learning, and I can share some of my thoughts with you guys too. Cheers, guys. We'll see you in the next video, and hope you have a great one. Cheers.